Thank you very much for that. Now, the most serious cases coming before Scotland's courts could face even longer delays despite the system's ongoing recovery since the pandemic. For the first time, the number of cases waiting to go to trial across the whole court system is lower than before the first lockdown, but the number of cases being sent to the High Court, which deals with the most serious offences, is going up. Kate Wallace from Victim Support Scotland has told Radio Scotland that the impact this backlog is having on victims.
We've known that sexual crime has been increasing, and that, you can map out the impact of that on the justice system. But I think, from our point of view, the big concern around this is that the waiting time being 43 weeks from first trial to diet doesn't even count the long wait that victims have before it even gets to that court stage. So you are asking people to wait for a considerably long time, try and remember what's happened, keep that in the forefront of their mind. Many people feel as though they can't move on until the trial is over, and they really put themselves under a huge amount of pressure, understandably, to get the detail and the recall right.
Well, let's speak to Thomas Ross, KC, who's a former president of the Scottish Bar Association. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Thomas, that 43 wait that Kate referred to there, that has doubled, it seems, from 22 weeks before the pandemic.
Yeah, and actually in relation to, for example, murder cases, the accused are regularly kept in remand in prison for 2 years before the trial. So in most cases, most serious cases, the wait is much longer than that.
And why is this happening?
Well, there's a lot of crime. Scotland's quite a small jurisdiction. There isn't really much incentive any longer for the accused to avoid a trial. So every citizen has the right to go to trial. If it made it more attractive for the accused to avoid a trial by, for example, reducing the sentence, then it may be there might be some impact upon it. But sadly, at the moment, there's really no incentive for the accused to plead guilty in relation to serious cases.
And so the number of cases, it seems, are rising. But is it also, are the courts less able to deal with the number of cases coming?
To be fair to Scottish courts, I practice in the High Court, and regularly post-COVID, they are running 20 trials a day, mostly in Glasgow and Edinburgh, but also in Livingston, Stirling and Paisley. But, it looks as if they're pretty much at full capacity at the moment. And really, they could only make inroads if either there's a building programme, if they're able to create new courts. Obviously, that would involve capital investment. But if there were new courts, there would also have to be more prosecutors, more counsel, more court staff, which would be another investment. So in other words, there has to be money thrown at it, or the position will get worse.
So without that happening then, do you think that the waits to get trials underway will just get longer?
Yes, I do. I mean, if the wait is, at the moment, is 2 years, a couple of years from now, it could be 3 years. It's the reality. Nobody wants victims to wait. Nobody wants accused to wait. I mean, at the beginning of COVID, there were about 800 people on remand in Scottish prisons waiting for a trial. There's now more than 2,000, and some of these people are locked up 23 hours a day. Some of them doubled up in a cell with another man. So, the whole system is dreadfully unsatisfactory. The Scottish Government have been repeatedly warned by human rights agencies that locking people up in these conditions is completely unacceptable by international standards. But there's a lot of demands on the money, So, the government have to decide their priorities. But the position is not going to get any better. I can assure you, I'm in at 7:30 in the morning. All the court staff are there, the procurator fiscal staff are there. Everybody's working flat out to try and make the position better. But, we just need more courts, more judges, more prosecutors, and that costs money.
Well, thank you very much indeed for speaking to me. That's Thomas Ross there, KC, former president of the Scottish Bar Association. The Scottish Government says that they're continuing to support their justice partners to address this backlog, and a sustained effort has delivered significant results. It says the outstanding scheduled trials have fallen over 25,000 since January 2022, although, as we've just discussed, that is not necessarily the case at the High Court. You're listening to Lunchtime Live on BBC Radio